why perception is everything, the truth about reality's neutrality. Have you ever wondered why some people see the world in a positive light, while others see it as a place of negativity and hardship? The truth is that the world is neutral, and it reflects our own feelings back at us. Our interpretation of reality is shaped by the sensory experiences we have and how we choose to interpret them. I want to quote a line from Naval Ravikant and a conversation he had with Joe Rogan. The world just reflects your own feelings back at you. Reality is neutral. Reality has no judgments. To a tree, there's no concept of right or wrong, good or bad. You are born. You have a set of sensory experiences and stimulation, lights and colors and sounds, and then you die. And how you choose to interpret that is up to you. Reality has no judgments. To a tree, there's no concept of right or wrong, good or bad. Now, this quote highlights the importance of understanding that reality is neutral, and it's our own perspective that creates the perception of good or bad. The neutrality of reality. You know, it's funny that we've all been brought up to think that there's a certain and specific way we should live our lives. Society has a knack for dictating what's right and wrong with our lives. It can feel like we're constantly bombarded with expectations and norms that shape our view of the world. But here's the thing. The truth is that reality isn't inherently good or bad. It just is. And it's up to us to put our own spin on things and give it meaning. Think about a tree, for instance. It doesn't have the ability to feel happy or sad. It just exists. And it's the same with the world around us. It's just there, waiting for us to put our own mark on it and give it meaning. By realizing that reality is neutral, we can break free from the constraints of societal norms and begin to see the world in a whole new way. The impact of our perception on reality. The world just reflects your own feelings back at you. Our emotions and feelings can make a huge impact on how we perceive the world around us. And here's the thing. The world reflects right back what we put out there. So, if we look at the world with a smile and a positive attitude, we'll attract good vibes and good people that match that energy. But if we're constantly down and negative, well, then we'll just attract more of the same. It's crucial to remember that our view of reality is not set in stone. It's subjective and it can change based on our thoughts and our feelings and our emotions. And that's the beauty of it all. Now, by being mindful of this, we have the power to shift our perspective and change how we see the world. Sensory experiences and stimulation. You are born. You have a set of sensory experiences and stimulation, lights and colors and sounds, and then you die. Have you ever thought how our experiences and stimulation shape the way we see and view the world? It's pretty incredible, isn't it? The things we experience and the way they make us feel, they all contribute how we interpret reality. Take for instance someone who's been brought up in a warm and loving home. They're likely to have a positive outlook on life, seeing the world as a place full of possibilities. But on the flip side, if someone has experienced an abusive and harsh upbringing, they're probably going to view the world through a much darker lens, seeing it as a place full of danger and negativity. It's important to remember, though, that our experiences and stimulation don't define reality. They just help us make sense of it. We have the power to change the way we see things and shift our perspective. Embracing reality's neutrality. And how you choose to interpret that is up to you. Our view of the world is all subjective and change depending on how we feel and what we think. If we choose to see things with a brighter perspective, we can bring positivity in our lives and feel a greater sense of happiness and fulfillment. It can be tough to change the way we see things, especially if we've been used to seeing things in a certain way for a long time. But with a bit of effort and mindfulness, we can train our minds to see the world in a more positive light and enjoy a greater sense of peace and joy. Don't you think it's worth a shot? So what can you take away from this? The world is just a mirror of how we feel inside. Reality is neutral. It doesn't judge us. It's up to us to give meaning to what we see and experience based on the way we perceive it. Imagine if we approach the world with a positive outlook, embracing its neutrality. We can attract positivity and joy into our lives, experiencing a much greater sense of fulfillment. So choose to see the world with fresh eyes and live a life of freedom and peace.